Hi boys! Today I'm going to teach you how to make Southwestern Chicken Scaloppine. This is a really delicious dish and it's really easy to make. It takes about 30 minutes from start to finish, and if you shop at the commissary for your ingredients, you can make this meal for under $9 and it will feed a family of 4. So let's get started and talk about the ingredients that you're going to need. I have some thin sliced chicken breast. It's skinless, boneless chicken breast. It's thin sliced. I have just under 3 pounds. If you can't find the thin slice, you can get the regular chicken breast and just slice it very thin yourself. You're also going to need some chicken broth. You're going to need lime juice, some Tabasco sauce, some cilantro. I have the fresh cilantro. You can also use the dried cilantro if you want. You're going to need dried cumin. You're going to need all-purpose flour, also salt, and then I have some ramen. This is what we're going to use to put our chicken scaloppine over. So you're just going to be cooking the noodles and then draining them. So let's get your ingredients together, and let's also talk about the tools that you're going to need to make this. You're going to need a bowl that you're going to mix your flour mixture in. You're going to need a plate that after you get done coating your chicken, you're going to put your chicken on. You're going to need a pot like this to boil your ramen in. And then you're going to need a skillet. This is what you're going to cook the chicken scaloppine in. So get all of your ingredients and your tools together, and then we can get started. I started by rinsing my chicken under cold water and patting it dry with some paper towels. So I have it, and I kind of cut it into strips that look about this size. And then I added a half a cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, and a half a teaspoon of salt to this dish. And I'm going to stir it really well. And this is what I'm going to use to coat my chicken with. So I've stirred that really well. Then I'm going to take a piece of chicken. I'm going to dip it in and make sure that it's covered really well. I'm going to put it on my plate, and I'm going to do the entire thing of chicken. And then we'll go ahead and take our next step. Now it's time to cook the chicken, and this is actually going to go really quickly. I have my big skillet. I've added enough vegetable oil in the bottom just to kind of coat the bottom, and I've preheated it on high. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my chicken in there, and I'm going to brown it on both sides. I'm going to cook it for about 4 minutes on each side. So put it in there, cook it for 4 minutes, flip it over and cook it for another 4 minutes. Then I'll show you how yours should look. While my chicken is frying up, I'm going to go ahead and get my ramen ready to make. So I have my saucepan. I filled about halfway full of water. I'm going to put that on high, and then when the water comes to boil, I'm going to add 2 packages, just the ramen noodles, not the seasoning, just the noodles. What I like to do is crunch them up in the package really well first, break them up really good, and then when the water comes to boil, go ahead and put them in and cook them for 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, go ahead and strain them in your colander. Just to note, while you're cooking your chicken, make sure and move it around the pan, because there's going to be some spots of your pan that are going to be hotter than others, and you want to make sure that your chicken cooks really evenly. Also, if you see that your chicken is starting to stick to the bottom of the pan, feel free to add a little more vegetable oil in there. Okay, so we're going to finish cooking, and I'm going to show you how your chicken should look, and in the meantime, you should be cooking your ramen. I finished frying my chicken. You see how yummy and golden brown that looks? I put it on a plate that I lined with a paper towel. That's going to absorb some of the oil. Now I want to keep this warm while I'm fixing the rest of my meal. So what I've done is I've put my oven to the lowest temperature setting, which is 170. I'm going to pop this in the oven, and that's going to stay nice and warm. In the meantime, we're going to make our final step, which is the yummy sauce that we're going to need. So what I want you to do is scrub out your skillet, get that back on the stove, and then we're going to finish and do the last step. This is really easy, guys. Now we're going to do the sauce portion of our recipe. So what I want you to do is take a coffee cup, and I want you to add 4 tablespoons of the flour that's left over from when you did the chicken. And then I want you to very slowly, and as you're doing this, pour 1 cup of the chicken broth into there. So as you're pouring the chicken broth, stir it. The reason why you want to do this very slowly is you want to make sure that you don't have any lumps, okay? So go ahead and stir that really well. It's going to look kind of milky like that until there's no lumps. And then I want you to pour it into your skillet, and I want you to cook it on about 7 and stir it while you're doing that until it boils. All right, so my sauce came to a boil, and I went ahead and added a half a teaspoon of Tabasco sauce. Now, you might be a little bit more adventurous than I am, and if you want, throw some more in there. And then I added 2 tablespoons of the lime juice, and I've stirred that in. And then I've taken my cilantro, and with my cilantro, I tore away the stems and rinsed it and just kind of tore up in little pieces. And with fresh cilantro, I would add about 1/4 of a cup. If you have dried cilantro, add 2 tablespoons. So go ahead, stir that in really good. Then your sauce is done, and then we're going to put everything together. Now it's time to put all of our ingredients together. So I have a dish, a serving dish, and I put some ramen in the bottom of it. I have my chicken out of the oven. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of salt to the top just to give it some good taste. And then I'm going to add some pieces of chicken to my dish. About 1/4 of them, because like I said, this makes about 4 servings. So I've got that, and then I'm going to take my sauce, and I'm going to drizzle some over the top, just like that. And now it's ready to eat. Doesn't that look delicious? So again, this took about 30 minutes to make. The cost for a family of 4 was just under $9. So I hope you all enjoy this recipe. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them on Facebook and I'll be happy to answer them. Boys, I love you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.